Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, we will be introduced to casework and the problems faced by individuals and families. That is, we will come across the definition, purpose, and importance of casework along with the problems that we deal with in casework. After going through this presentation, you will have a basic understanding of social casework. You will come to know about the types of problems faced by individuals and families. You will discern the purpose of social casework and you will know the importance of social casework. So let's begin with what is casework. So casework is one of the primary methods of social work. Primary method, one of the direct methods of social work that is applied at the micro level. That means it's a micro level intervention method in which we are concerned with the smallest unit of intervention, that is an individual or a family. Now this term social casework was first of all used by Porter R. Lee in the Proceedings of the National Conference of Social Work 1911 and in the publication The Survey. According to Porter R. Lee, casework is the method of affecting the understanding of the needs, resources, and reactions of the individuals. Now, let's see some more definitions of casework. As proposed by Mary Ellen Richmond, casework are those processes which develop personality through adjustments consciously effected individual by individual between man and their social environment. Let's take a look at one more as given by H. Perlman. Social casework is the process used by certain human welfare agencies to help individuals cope more effectively with their problems in social functioning. So, we can say that casework is a method of helping people individually through one-to-one referential, that is, one caseworker and one client. It is an understanding process of a maladjusted person who is the client. It is the rehabilitation process of a maladjusted person to a healthy social life. So why are we doing it? Because we are trying to rehabilitate the person, the maladjusted person, to a healthy social life. So, what are the types of problems that one can deal with while applying the method of casework? They normally can be categorized as the problems faced by the individuals and the problems faced by the families. So, at the individual level, again, the problems can be classified into three categories, that is, physical, psychological, and social. Physical, that is to do with the body, that is to do with like illness, like any genetic problem, any kind of disorder, which is a health disorder, that is the physical condition, or it might be handicap, that's a physical problem. Okay, then psychological problems are those which have to do with the mind, with the thinking, like stress, like anxiety, like panic, okay, like phobia. All of these are psychological problems. And then there are social problems which can affect an individual. For example, alcoholism or illiteracy or poverty. These are the social problems with which an individual might be dealing. At the same time, casework is also applied to certain problems which are affecting the entire social functioning of a family as a unit. So, what can these problems be? These can be like marital discord, these can be poverty, alcoholism, drug addiction. So, even if the person is just a single member in the family, the entire family gets affected with this problem. Okay, so what is the purpose of casework? To understand and solve the internal problems of the individuals. We are trying to understand the internal problems because you are not a therapist or you are not a person who will be prescribing medicines, but you're trying to understand the internal problems, the functioning of the mind, and how the social functioning of an individual is being affected. That's what you are trying to understand by your interventions, and that's what you are trying to resolve, or that's what you are trying to provide help with your client to resolve through casework. Okay, so you are trying to solve the internal problems of the individual and you are building upon the capacities of the client to solve their internal problems, to strengthen his ego power, that is the ego power of the client. So the reality, the client becomes aware about the reality. That is to strengthen his ego power. Remediation or solution of problems in social functioning. So, like I said, whatever be the problems in social functioning, you are trying to provide options, you're trying to provide solutions to the client. Remember, you're not imposing it upon them, but then you are trying to build upon their understanding and their capacities to take up decisions to solve their problems, to prevent the problems in social functioning. So it is not always about solving the problems or providing up options after the problem has emerged, but it can also be before that. So that is prevention of problems. And the last is development of resources to enhance social functioning. So sometimes we have the resources around us which can help us to resolve our problems. But then, since we are in problem, we are unable to locate those resources. So, as a caseworker, you are supposed to understand the client system and then provide the client with certain resources which are around him, which he might not have recognized or which he might would have ignored so far. So that is also one of the purpose of casework. Let's make a move to the importance of social casework. So why do we need casework? We need for better solution of client's problem. Okay. For exploitation of means for problem solving, like I said, the resources are around and they need to be exploited for better problem solving. For the personality development of client, so once if the client is out of problem, obviously certain developments can be seen in the personality of the client which are positive. Achieving behavioral changes, because that is what we are intending to. Remember, we are not therapists, so we are not prescribing any medicines, but then what we are doing is we are trying to achieve behavioral changes in the client, better adjustment between the client and the environment. So the client needs to be adjusted with the environment. In case if we are unable to bring about significant changes in the environment, somewhere we have to bring about a change in the client so that he can adjust with the environment and help the client meet their unmet needs. So different roles can be played. Sometimes you may be doing this by playing the role of an advocate or likewise. Now, casework also helps the client to identify the problems, opportunities, and develop potentials towards handling those problems. So, a problem is a problem as long as one thinks of it as a problem. So, if it is not being identified as a problem, perhaps the client will never be able to come out of it. And so, you help the client to identify that, yes, this is the problem. So that might be done when you have such clients who are unwilling to take up interventions, like drug addicts or like alcoholics. For them, it might not be a problem. So you have to help them discover that yes, this is a problem, and if you continue with this practice, it may lead to further health complications or further complications in one's family life or otherwise. Okay, so you help the client to identify the problems, the opportunities, and you do help the client to develop potentials to tackle these particular problems. You enable the client to perform proper social functioning. So, proper social functioning that is maladjusted before. Now, you are helping the client, you are enabling the client so that you're working on the potential of the client, you're working on the capacities of the client to perform proper social functioning, to prevent or elevate conditions leading to breakdown of healthy relationship of client with family, associates, or environment. So client is not somebody who is existing in isolation, but then they are existing as a system. Okay, so there are other units also which are affecting the client, and which the client may also affect. So you try to prevent or elevate the conditions which may lead to breakdown of healthy relationship of the client with the family or associates or the environment. Then you inculcate confidence and worth in the client. So you have to believe in the client, and you need to motivate the client, and you need to ensure that the client believes in himself. So you are inculcating confidence and worth in the client, and also you clarify the doubts of the client and counsel them from time to time, whatever be their doubts which might be arising in the due course of time. So you need to be there to clarify them. So this is the importance of casework. This is why we need casework. So, what is casework? Casework is a primary method of social work practiced with individuals and families. There are certain types of problems which are faced by the individuals and the families. The individual problems can be categorized broadly as physical, psychological, and social, and family as a unit. If it is dealing with certain problems that all the members are facing, there again we can apply the method of casework. We also learned about the purpose of casework and the importance of casework. I hope with this video you got an introduction about social casework as a method of social work, and you also learned about the problems faced by the individuals and families at an introductory level. So that's all for the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you want to keep seeing such videos, do subscribe to my channel. And if you want any other topics to be covered or any suggestions that you have, please put them down in the comment section. For any personal inquiry, you can also mail me at the email ID given below in the description. Thank you and have a great time ahead.